Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Johann. Actually, I think he taught. Is it Johann? Is that how do I pronounce your name properly? I think he actually taught a course on Blab about Wirecast. Was that what
Yeah.
it was, Johann? Okay, you let me know. I don't think Johann's in our group,
Oh, okay. Well,
so
let me get a link out here
I
real quick.
will drop
I
the
got it.
link to our magical group. If you're in here now, suffice to say, I know you have a Blab ID.
I got it, Barb, right here. So if you want to hold off on
Did
grabbing your
you?
own, yep, I got it right here.
Okay.
That is
All
the
right.
group.
You go ahead. Thank you
Yep.
so much.
The questions still aren't working over on the left side, are they?
Nope. No.
That's no fair.
Hopefully next week, huh?
Yeah. I'd
So,
like to see that feature again.
yeah, really. I'm wondering where all the good stuff went and why it's not back yet.
I would agree.
No, the
feature?
follow. Let me look up there. I don't think the follow feature has been. No.
I'm not sure what you guys mean by the follow feature. I
For
can follow.
for instance, when I hover over your ID, Leland, it shows that I follow you.
Yep.
And when I click on your profile, it shows that you don't follow me, but you do. We both know that. So
Yeah, I think that was reversed there for a while, and I never did fix
it.
It
is it's still reverse.
Gotcha.
So, but if it's people that have been, it's actually, even that's kinky, because if you're new, like we have one person here with no profile photo, Jack Robinson. He hasn't had the time to set his profile yet. And it shows that he actually follows me, but I'm not following him. It says that he has one follower, but he's not following anybody at the same thing.
I followed
But
him
it
already
shows
this
me.
morning. Yep, when he came in, I followed Jack to see where he's headed. So I'm right on your tail, buddy. Just plan on me following you everywhere. I don't get out here enough to really bother people.
Exactly. That's why we know it's all messed up. Well, again, we want to thank you folks for joining us today. And initially, our agenda was to just continue with the discussion that evolved within our group this last week. And about an hour ago, Leland and I were discussing it on Facebook, and we've decided to hold off on that. Both of us have been very busy this last week. Leland has been working on building his new brand. And if you're in our group already, I'm sure you've noticed some changes in there. And I was so excited as an older gal to figure out, but someone who's been online a long time and someone who's actually been a contractor to Facebook, but to figure out how to trick their algorithm. And so you saw what I did with the photo album, right?
No,
and how that brings it back up.
No, I caught something of the tail end of that post, but I didn't get a chance to go through and see what you actually did. I know there's tricks when it comes to
I'm going to do more of it.
So. Cool.
And I'm encouraging everyone in our group, another good reason to join our group. But if you are a host, you have a regular show, to put your show card in the photo album that's titled Blab Show Cards. There's actually instructions there. And then that's your general show card. And then in the comments, you can add each of your blabs for your new week or new day that you've scheduled your show. So this would work whether it's you're just having blabs occasionally, but you've got a brand built and you're having it under your brand. Like Roy, if it's net friending in general and you have just a cover for your net friending image, and be very careful about putting not filling it with lots of text and putting photos in it, because Facebook is really quirky about that as well. But if you have that as the photo in the album, and then you add each of your episodes as comments, and people comment to that, it brings it up in the discussion group regularly in between show intervals. So it's really helpful in getting noticed by a lot more members in the group. So that was one of the most exciting techie things in the for me in our group. But I'm still working on the infrastructure for our group and for the website. And I'm rounding up more folks to add value to our group, people who are more knowledgeable in the areas of live streaming, because I really want it to be of support value to everyone. And Leland he's doing phenomenal things in really addressing issues for the lower end of entrepreneurs and who are on a budget, for the solopreneur, the very small startup. And, you know, it's start where you are is Leland's theme. If I could, isn't that true, Leland?
Yeah, pretty much. And this
I mean,
give
what you
everyone
and Chris.
Yeah, this will help, Barbara, just so there's no confusion as to where my brand's headed. bcblive is strictly, it's an acronym for a company that I've run for a while, which was Best Conceptions LLC. So now it's under the branding of Best Conceptions Broadcasting, or bcblive. And the site that I've generated currently is based on that whole concept of being able to provide the best solutions I can for those who want to live stream on a budget. Because obviously there are some of us out here who have limited bandwidth, who have limited budgets as far as cash flow goes, and want to still get our message out. So my whole premise of this website is to help not only teach people how to live stream with at least the bare minimum equipment that's necessary, but it's also high-end, high-tech equipment. This is good software. It's using the right products, the right procedures, the right methods, that you're not just going off half-cocked trying to develop a show or anything like that. And I've got a cable television broadcasting license. I spent a couple of years in radio and television, training in school, and then also worked as a DJ for a few years. So I have some background knowledge of the equipment and the software that's necessary to do this. And building this forward, anyone that wants to stop by here and get an idea of where this is headed can come by and take a look at this and what it would take to put together a small home studio. Obviously, this is still under construction, but what I intend to do is show people how to broadcast out to the masses, which would be all of the live channels that are available to them. Currently, I'm broadcasting out on 8 different channels. One of them is a podcast channel out on Spreaker, but I include to incorporate more as I'm able to do so. I can show you how to create the accounts, how to get the stream keys up and running, and use certain websites so that limited bandwidth that you have allows you to open up to many channels at once. And then from there, I'm going to be able to cover such issues as all of the audio and broadcasting software that's available to people out there. I was just approved today for 2 separate accounts on both Telestream and Manicam, so that I'm a resell affiliate for those 2 programs. And it took a little bit of work to get through the Telestream end of things, but that managed to get covered. And then I can cover syndications and the video editing software. I have not fully established yet. I want to find the right products for people to use that, we could go out and tell people to spend $200 for Camtasia, but I think there are other options out there that are available. I use Corel, which is only $70, $60 out the door. And then there's hardware issues that we'll contend with. So when it comes to computers and cams and cameras and all the lighting and green screen issues that we might have to deal with, all that's going to be covered, along with recording equipment. And studio equipment will be kind of the high-end stuff later. As people grow into their own live streaming studio, then as they start to earn an income from it, they can find a way to start adding equipment to their stuff and move forward as bandwidth increases, because that's the key factor here. Is a lot of people don't have the access to the bandwidth that's necessary to do a lot of the high-end streaming that you see in HD. Like me, I've got 4 meg up. I can't I can't broadcast 4 channels of high def video and audio out to 5 channels on my own. So I have to find my ways around it, but it does work. So
Great. Say, Roy, could I make you a host too so you can welcome new folks into the group as they come in? Thanks, because my eyes are really bothering me today, and it's hard for me to do
I appreciate
that.
it.
Thank
Roy.
you. I appreciate that. Yeah. So this is National Small Business Week in America. And something special happened yesterday afternoon. I decided just impromptu to set up a blab to just offer mentorship to whoever should come in.
I saw that.
And, excuse me?
I saw the post, but I was busy with family because we had our grandson's birthday party, so I missed the blab that afternoon.
Well, I didn't even put a announcement in our group. I didn't. I think I did. Yes, I sent out a tweet to it. It was just there. But something very magical happened. And it was one of our group members who came in and stayed. Her name is Tracy. I can't remember her last name. But as we chatted, she had owned another business in life and was just redefining herself at this stage. And she shared, I shared some insight with her, and she shared her gratitude, but then she told me about what she thought about me and my presence on Blab, and a light bulb went off, and I just said, that's it. I've got to take action, because she inspired me. And it's, as I shared with Tracy, and it's kind of like what happened to our group, why it is where it is today. And to me, everything in life is about relationships, whether, I don't care if you call it a business or your job, even getting ahead in your job, it's about developing relationships. It's people to people. And Small Business Week and Small Business Thriving in communities all across the country and around the world, for that matter, is what's happened with the technology tools that we have available to us today. And you all know, those of you who have been following me for any length of time, know how excited I am about this live stream video conversation platform coming to fruition, because it is all about making the people connections. And so we had so much fun in that together. But she said something to me that I really, and I don't know, maybe you won't agree with that, but it was kind of a surprise to me, because I'm in a different place and time in life today. And, you know, I quit consulting years ago because it was like the clients would pay me, but nobody was listening. You know how it was? They'd pay you a large amount, and then they'd go off and do something else. And there was just no pleasure in that. It didn't bring me joy. And so the one thing I discovered in having my journey with cancer, in it taking that whole story, taking over 8 years of my life, and putting me where I am today, is that the most important thing is just focusing on your own shit and learning how to take care of it first. So now, when she was asking for help and things weren't resonating with her, and she had all this success behind her, and, you know, it's just very simple. I said, what brings you joy? And there was a long pause. And I think that's it for all of us. I think many of us in our group are in a period of transition. And like me, we saw the opportunity to connect here. And through this, it really, truly is evolving into the communities like I built back in the late 80s and early 90s on the proprietary networks, which then led us to the public internet. And here we are in National Small Business Week. And it was 24 years ago this week that one of our other hosts and an administrator in our group and a BFF and a former client, my cohort, Deborah McCarthy, appeared with me in Entrepreneur Magazine, and that we were in the centerfold, if you will.
Whoa!
I at that time had. We were a couple of. Let's see. I think I have the framed article around here somewhere, but we'll show it to you some other time.
Leave a little to the imagination. That's all good.
Yes. But we used to tease about that. But the interesting thing was, that's 24 years ago, the interesting thing, it was during National Small Business Week that the big promotion from an Entrepreneur Magazine was going on. And the name of the article was The Price of Advice. Because at that point in my life, I was a consultant, and the reporter with Entrepreneur was, he was out of North Carolina. His name was Bob, and he was writing under a pen name. And that brings us back to the folks who don't want to be public, because Bob was a real introvert, amazingly gifted young man. And that article led to, by August, I was in the business section, the whole page in the New York Times, and it was syndicated, and it went to the LA Times, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, all over Canada. All my fans sent me clippings from all these various newspapers that got in. And that was 24 years ago. And you come forward to today. And what I talked about in that article is where we are. This is my vision. This is where we were supposed to get to.
Awesome.
But the end result is that for these relationships to cement, to be lifetime experiences, like my BFF Deborah and myself, because we started out in our story together with small children, and mine's 33 now, and I think that her oldest just turned 30. So those were the days.
That's when our kids just turned 35 and 33 on the first of the month. So 2 years apart. They're the same birthday, but 2 years and 20 minutes apart from each other. So it's one of those fluke.
So one of the things is learning about these platforms, because in general, folks in our age group have a really tough time with addressing technology. And so one of the amazing things about this particular platform is, in spite of all of the bugs here and there, it really is point and click as the easiest thing for any of us to be able to just, from having no experience at all, to get on board and to start becoming part of a community. Mm-hmm. So today, what I want to do, I'm going to, we can certainly open the seats to get to know other members better. Sure. And if you have any questions about joining our group, love to have you in there. And join us here. You're welcome to do that. But I do want to provide a link to, and I'm going to be doing an after hours Small Business Week blab at 6 p.m. Pacific time throughout this week. And
every day?
whoever shows up, fine.
Okay, cool.
If you don't, fine. But I'm offering my time, and we talked about the price of advice. The highest I ever received for an hour of my time, doing a legitimate business, of course,
Whoa,
it
there we
was
go
for
again.
1 hour, $10,000.
Wow, that's nice. That's the way it goes.
So I learned, it was actually after having, a successful career as an entrepreneur that I saw Pretty Woman the first time that it came out. And I thought, whoever the writers were in the movie really had the lines down, because, it was, and says, Vivian, she asks, well, she's asking, what would you like it to be, and naming the success. And between that and Jerry Maguire, it pretty much set it all for me.
That's right.
So I want to give you a link to our next blab for that. Thanks, Deb. And I also want to encourage you to attend Leland's blab tomorrow, right?
Yep, I need to get the link, but if you want to find me, you can find me out at Leland Best here at blive.im, so you can subscribe.
In our group, it's already been announced. And what we will be doing in the group again, back to that, is that in the event portion of the group, another way I've learned to jimmy that is I will be putting up an event notice for events for that day. So, and they will lead back to those show cards in the albums. So it will be able.
That'll be nice.
What does Roy say? I'm sorry.
He sees the question pin into the seat feature by hovering over the Q comment stream, but I cannot get it to pin. No, it will not pin, Roy. Those are issues that we've had. We can pin the links into the box, but we can't pin the questions. That somehow that entire
I'm not even seeing the pin. He says he's seeing it.
No, I think he's referring to the question itself, because normally you used to be able to pin the questions also to the seat, but now you can't do that. Those are the ones that they've removed as a feature right now.
Right.
Roy, you can't pin them they don't even pop up on the left side anymore.
Well, hopefully in the next few days and before our next general meeting next week, we'll have some updates on YouTube Live. I'm sorry, YouTube Connect.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I know there were a lot of announcements.
I was hoping that would be here today, but
yeah, you never know.
Didn't quite make it.
I haven't seen any type of announcement. I saw a lot of announcements on what's going on with the big shindig they've got planned, but I have not seen a single word about YouTube Connect inside that context. So I'm a little curious as to whether they're going to announce it before, during, or after. So we'll just have to see what happens.
Me too. Well, it's definitely we're in for a very, very interesting May, with what the various platforms have already leaked out that's coming. So I plan to lead discussion and participate in discussion in our group on that, and certainly join folks out here on Blab in furthering that discussion.
Yeah, I'm really curious where it's going to go.
So this on Tuesdays at this time at 10:30 a.m. was really intended to be a blab for our members of our group, and folks who are not members can listen in and decide if they like what we're discussing. They're quite welcome to join us in group. But we really go into more of the technical issues in the actual Facebook group, and then carry that thread of conversation through here to Blab. So certainly if you aren't in the group, love to have you join us. And we'll be going forward with that. And the other thing was on Monday, we're doing this special blab, and it's at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And did that go? Let's see if maybe I didn't hit return. There it is. Yeah. And this is on admin training. I had initially set that up to help Deborah in learning the administrative side of our group. But we've already had folks join in, and since folks who are not in our group join on that blab. And I spoke with Leland about that this morning, because one of the things that I've noticed in our own group is that folks have automatically added me to other groups that they're doing for their shows, or they're creating groups for their shows. So I want to go into some of the things on the administrative side, not just of our group, but in administering the Facebook groups. And we have several folks in there that can provide insight. So that's what we're going to be doing next Monday. And I will have documents up in our group on that.
You know, that's one feature, Barb, I've never understood about Facebook groups, is that they don't offer the person being invited into the group the option to decline whether they want to become a member or not. It's like you
have the option to leave.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. But by then you could be a member of 10 groups and not even know it. And it should have been like a pop-up that showed up in your IM or something that said, hey, you've been invited to this group. Would you like to join? And that I think that would have been the simple way to rectify that issue, but they didn't. And I found myself, I think I'm in 30 groups.
As you know, early on in here, I said, well, from my own experience in being a contractor to Facebook, and they're getting rid of almost everything for free. And so for us as entrepreneurs, and it's always how to get around it. I mean, it's just inherent in who we are.
I agree.
So I've actually discovered some really cool things, and I would really appreciate it if we just kind of kept it in our group.
Well, that's good. I'm all for that.
I mean, it's something that we need to keep special among our community and in nurturing our relationships. And so the other big thing, and why I'm so excited about where we're going is, you know, in October is the world's largest ballooning event, and ballooning season is right upon us. I'm talking about hot air balloons and gas balloons too, but primarily hot air balloons. Those are the big events. And Deborah and I are planning a get-together, which you're all welcome to come and participate in. And we'll see also how that evolves. If you really want to talk techie kind of stuff, we can do that. But it's really a time of socializing and learning more just about each other as people. And it'll be your call, but that's another thing that'll be discussed in our groups. So from there, do you have anything, Leland? And we can open up the discussion if you'd like.
Well, there's not a whole lot other than what we've got going for tomorrow. I know that we had talked about covering the interview with Sean in Joel Combs' show recently, and that's going to get carried forward. I don't have a problem discussing any aspect of that tomorrow, maybe in the after show. Again, my show being an impromptu type thing, it's kind of, we talk about whatever comes up. I was a little disappointed in myself because I had spent about an hour writing a Facebook note, and here's a little tidbit that people should be aware of. And I don't know if this is recent because I've never had this happen to me before, and I've written several notes on Facebook. I put together about an hour-long note in return comment for that entire post on the video and the Forbes article that was written about it. And if you guys haven't seen that, please check it out in the Facebook group, or we'll take a look for yourself. It was something that was written just a few days ago and marketed toward how marketers are perceived on Blab. So I spent all this time, wrote the note, and of course, when you get done with the note, you save it and it publishes it. Well, it published it to my regular feed, and then I shared it with the group. And then I said, well, I don't want it on my feed. I just wanted to share it with the group. So I deleted the post, the shared post on my news feed, and it deleted the entire note.
Right.
I have never witnessed it delete. I figured it was just a share link. But it removed the entire note. And I was like, are you kidding me? This is ridiculous. Right. So I had to be careful, and I wasn't going to go back and write it all again. So
on brilliant moves like that, as far as when you're inspired to write and contribute a lot of valuable content, use the file section. Just create a document in there. Yep. And then that way, because one of our group projects, I mean, we talk about the sales funnel and all of that. It's like, even if we're just casual users, if this is all we aspire to do, this is a pioneering adventure that we've all embarked on together. And it'd be so easy to have everybody's story, and it makes a book. I mean, it would be 170-page book if everybody took a page right now. But
that'd be kind of cool. Hey, you just started something right there. You just started something. I think that's something we should aspire to.
Yeah, and that's what I had said. And that's what the site I'm building out for our group, our projects will be listed on there. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited about how things are evolving. And how, it's coming together. So anybody want to jump in the seat, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, we'll call this a wrap, and we'll meet you back in group and on our other blabs.
Yeah, and there was one thing I did want to mention, Barb, before we split off, is I had posted in the group just the other day, and I know you guys might not be able to see this, but hopefully you can. Let me do one thing, and I'll be able to zoom in.
Now you got another conversation open.
No. This is that was just Chris asking when our show was going to start, so that's no big deal. Let me get back to where I was, though. I want to let you guys see this. That's just Chris saying, hey, where are you guys at? And I was like, well, we're right here. So basically, this was the post I put up the other day, and it was a small poll so that anyone in the group would be addressed with any issues that they have right now. And I've already gotten in touch with the couple who have made some comments on this poll that I did. I want people to know that this group isn't just to have a name in a hat, and it's not just a means for us to track where you're at, but we also want this community to be able to help each other. So I want those who are struggling with, building a plan or a schedule, or being able to build a website, not sure what kind of audio or video hardware they need to get a hold of, whether their site's busted right now and they can't figure out how to fix it. There are several individuals in this group who have the expertise to help with any aspect, really, when it comes to what we're doing out here. So I want people to try and look for this post. It's probably down the thread a little ways, or just type my name and it should be one of the first ones that pop up.
I did see it, and I thought that's another album we need to have.
It is.
So that we can bring it up. Because what happens, and understanding how discussion threads work on the Facebook groups, is that if they don't get traffic, if they don't get engagement, they keep going farther and farther down in the group until they fall off. So that was just to basically, if we go the route that I've put together now, I think we can keep it up at the top, because every time you click on an album, we'll get to see that. Oh, okay. And then there's the question, as us as individuals, I mean, the poll that you've presented there, is that not just for you, Leland? Is this the results you're going to share with the group?
This is specific to the group. This isn't for my purposes. This isn't monetization of any kind for me to self-promote my business or anything. This is strictly toward the fact that we have people in this group. We have almost 200 people now, And not everyone comments, not everyone participates. We know that. But I want those who may be quiet because they feel like they're stuck and they don't know who to ask or which way to turn or who to say, I don't know what to do here. Who do I ask? I want people to know that this poll is available just to get those who are having issues or are stuck. And I even left a comment there for, get with me in private if people aren't open to leaving the fact that they have a stuck website or are having trouble building a website or whatever it might be, so that they can discuss these matters on the back end. And then we can just share the information that we develop. If there's somebody that's stuck in a particular instance, then we can get that out on the table, show other people that might be stuck in the same situation how to break out of that. I just did a video the other day on how to get out of an expired domain at GoDaddy and move it over to some other host if you forgot to pay your bill, because sometimes people let their domains expire and they don't know what to do next. They figure it's gone or it's lost or whatever. I had one that was expired for 5 days. I let it expire so that I could see how much access I had.
Still in the redemption period.
Yeah, it was. So I was able to show in a video how you can still get in there, get it satisfied, move it somewhere else for a lesser price and things like that. So, and I'm constantly developing videos like that. I'll be constantly developing how-to tutorials for the different webcasting software that I participate with, along with tutorials on how to multi-stream and syndicate and other aspects of video editing. So those will start to be shared as they're produced on BCB Live, and we'll just keep moving those along one way or another.
And I'm sure Johan did just join our group. And by the way, today is National Teachers Appreciation Day. Isn't that true? Or is it international?
I'm not sure. I know yesterday was the...
Google presented it to us this morning when you all got on the first search that you did. So, and the way I met Johan was through Udemy when I took some Blab courses over there. Although I find it so interesting that I took those courses after I was already helping folks on Blab, but I've watched and I have more followers and relationships with folks on Blab than any of my instructors have had so far. It seems like, of course, they're getting on with their lives.
That could be part of it. You never know.
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, I have to admit, I don't spend quite as much time out here anymore as I did when I first started in November of last year out here on Blab. But it's only because I'm finding myself attracted to several of these other live streaming communities that have a lot, but it's not the community itself right now. It's more of the technical end of things and seeing how we can broadcast out to all these and get some engagement. And it could, spur some engagement with the Facebook group, because I don't have my own personal Facebook group for the streaming thing. I do have one set aside for my academy that's going to be coming out either on Yes Course or Thinkific. But that's,
and if you do a community right way, the thing is, we shouldn't. It's like, how much time do you have?
Exactly.
And you're better off contributing a small portion of your time to a group that can really expand into more, not just prospects, but, actual customer relationships. So you don't have to do nearly as much work. So anyhow, those are all things we can look forward to learning.
For sure.
So, Johan, you want to come in and say hi?
Doors are open. Anybody wants to stop in real quick? I'm about ready to wrap up for the day. I've got some things I got to take care of too.
And Kathy came on screen for the first time. Well, I don't know if was it your first time, Kathy, or it was the first time I've seen her on screen. She's fairly new. She's an artist that's in the group now. So anybody gets gone, we're going to
twice.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to cut the stream just so you all know. Take care, everybody. In case you want to go find a replay, you know where to find us.